Hello and welcome back to AI June. The AI has us playing Into the Breach, which for those of you who don't know, this is a strategy game, which means we're going to use some very decisive strategic movement in order to get around each map, making sure that we have sufficient power and don't die. That's an important one. We don't want to die. So sit back, strap in, and get ready as I teach you how to be a strategic genius. Alright, we have strategically placed our mechs in what I think will be the most optimal positions for whatever these bugs can throw at us. What we want to do is we want to prevent these bugs from damaging those two rockets in the lower left or just left middle corner over there, and then damaging any of the buildings too, because that's going to make us lose some of our grid defense. Now if we place our mechs in danger, they can take some damage. Maybe sometimes they'll take the hits to avoid damaging the generator. They have health points. All it takes is one hit. But we need to get these guys pushed out of the way, so let me show you what we do first. The first thing that we do is we want to move our mech right behind the bug, and then from there we're going to punch him into the mountain. That's going to cause him extra damage. Boom, kills the bug, so he's out of the way. We don't have to worry about him. Next we're going to move our tank right there, and then we're going to go ahead, give that fire, and that's going to push the bug over to where he's attacking his little bug comrade. Gets him out of the way from attacking that rocket. Now we just got this last one. Now this one was a bit tricky. The decision I decided to do was to take my cannon guy, move him over one, and then launch our cannon right on top of the bug. Now it does not kill him, however what it will do is it'll push the flying bug up, preventing one bug from coming in. That rocket's still going to take one damage, but it can take up to two. So we just have to make sure that the next time it doesn't take another damage. And we're in luck because guess what? It's launching. So we just got to protect it and make sure that it launches. Alright, so I think our first move is an obvious one. We move our tank over and we push this bug. Bam! Prevents one from coming in, and the two insects are going to wind up hitting each other. Perfect. With our next move, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the cannon. I'm going to move it behind the tank. I'm going to fire right on top of this bug. Doesn't kill it, but it pushes it. And what that'll do is it covers up one bug from coming in, and those two bugs are still going to hit themselves. So we're going to pass and see it all come into action. That bug takes him out. Of course, the other bug doesn't hit because it's dead. The one does wind up coming back, however, but we did prevent one from coming in, and the rocket launched. So now let's see where they're going to set up, and then we're going to come up with a grand strategy around with what they decide to do. The first thing we're going to do is going to take the tank, move it over one, and then shoot this bug right here. Pushing it away. Now it's no longer going to tank the building, it's going to hit the mountain. Next up, we're going to take this cannon and we're going to push right here, or shoot right there, causing two pushes to happen. One of the bugs is out of the way so he won't hit the building anymore, and that little squid thing isn't a threat, so we don't have to worry about that. We just want him gone. Next up, we're going to punch this thing here, take him out of the picture. He could have hit the other bug, but better just to get him out of there. Now let's take a look and see what the insects decide to do. Alright, so the first thing I want to do is I want to take my mech, move it right here next to this bug, and we're going to give him a punch. Boom, right into the forest fire. That's going to protect our rocket so it can launch. Next up is the cannon. So we're going to fire that right on top of the little squid guy. Boom, pushes the one bug out of the way, protecting the building, gets the squid guy out of there, and away with that bonus health, causing the one in the forest fire to die. So what's our tank going to do? We're just going to put him here. We're going to shoot him into that mountain. Bam! Causes it to collapse. Gets that flying insect out of here. Tank is safe. and now the rocket launches. These bugs are doing nothing. Whiffing in the air, rocket launches away, and guess what? We win. And that's how you become the most perfect tactical genius like I am. 1,000 people saved. This was a great mission. Alright, we move on. We got our mechs placed down. In this one we have to break that dam. So we're going to focus on doing that with our mech. We're going to see what the bugs have in store for moving. And the first thing we do is we take our cannon. We move it over one. And then from here we're going to fire a shot right behind those two bugs. That's going to cause them to move and shift. So bam, one gets off of our mech so he can move, and then we got our tank. Gonna move him right there. Attack, pushing him out of the way so that way he doesn't hit a building. And then of course our mech, we're gonna go right up to this dam. We're just gonna give it a punch. Boom. Did not know that was gonna happen. But it's pretty neat. That was pretty cool. See what the bugs have in store. Alright, that water did add an extra layer of difficulty, but we're going to find a way out of it because we can't attack while we're in water. So I think the best thing to do is move the mech here, punch that bug, save our tank so our tank can get out of the water and do something this turn. Let's go ahead and move that cannon, place it right there, shoot at that spot right here, because that is going to push the bug away from the building so it doesn't attack the building. So the only other thing to do is to move the tank, get him out of the water, and have him attack that bug so he doesn't hit the building. Now he will hit my cannon, but my cannon's got 2 life, so it's worth it. Alright, first move is going to be the cannon. We're going to place him right there. We're going to hit right here. That's going to cause one bug to move away and another bug to knock into that squid guy. Boom. Building safe. Next, we're going to move the mech. Place him right here. Give that insect a punch. Should have thought about that though, because now he's in the way of that building. We use our tank to push the other bug. And I messed up. I should have been on the other side of the bug and pushed him away from the building. Let's see what the bugs do next. Alright, first thing that we're going to do is going to move the mech. Gonna place that mech right here. Give a punch to this bug, take out 2 for 1, reducing the health on the other bugs, making it a little easier to kill. Alright, next is the cannon. So I'm gonna select the cannon and let's move them over right here. Do that, boom, takes that guy out. So that building's safe, but now we don't have a clear line of shot to hit this thing. So all I can do is push this bug into the sea, and that building's going to take a hit. Yeah, unfortunately we did take 2 grid damage. One we didn't really have control over. Another one was a poor decision on my part, but we got 3 power grid left to get us through the rest of this map. So let's go on to the next. Alright, we have our placement. There are some mines down on the ground, so this is going to be interesting. Bugs are going to make their move. Oh, a pod just came in. Alright, so I guess that's just a little special thing that happens every once in a while, so we can protect the time pod until the end of the map, or we can just move one of our machines over top of it. Well, let's keep on going. Boom. Boom. Bugs are just taking themselves out. Alright, first move is that we're going to take the mech. And we're going to punch the bug that has us wrapped up in a spider web. Next up, let's go ahead and move the cannon. I'm going to place them right there. Attack the mountain, so that way we can push that bug right over there, preventing a bug from coming in. And I really don't have a move with the tank, so I'm just going to move him up one and end our turn. Let's see what the bugs do. First up is the mech. Gonna punch the bug right next to us to free up our cannon, so that way our cannon can move around. This next one is tough, because if I move my tank out of that bug's line of sight, it's gonna hit the building behind me. But we don't want that bug hitting that building. We definitely don't want it hitting that power generator that it's on now. So let's take the cannon, and we have to push it. Unfortunately, I do have to move my tank out of the way. And so my mech's gonna get hit, and that building's gonna get hit. Alright, taking the cannon first, going to pick up the pod. This may be a mistake of a move, but we're going to shoot here, push that bug away. Next, we're going to use the tank. So I'm going to take the tank, I'm going to move him right here. Push that way, taking out one of the insects, and then leaving that one left. So next up is our mech, and I move him down here. I really shouldn't have. I should have just gone up to where the bug was at, punched him in the direction of the building. So I tried to whiff at that. Nothing happened. Let's see what the bugs do. Alright, first up's the cannon. So we're going to move him right there. And then we're going to go ahead and actually shoot our tank just to push these bugs away. He's free to be able to move around, and hopefully we'll use him better this next time. So we're going to take the tank, move it right next to the flying guy, push him away so it doesn't threaten that power generator and we don't lose. All that's left now is the mech. I'm going to take the mech, move him over here, and then punch that bug into the mountain. Boom. Let's see what the bugs do now. And there you go, we completed the map with just one grid power left, but we did do a bonus that gave us an additional grid power. So we have 2 grid power going forward, but we also got Raining Death, which is a new weapon. So that might come in handy. That move that it's doing right there. Along with a reactor core, that's going to help power up the mech, or one of the mechs. We kind of get forced into putting the core inside of the cannon mech, the tank, and having to pick the upgrade and having us pick the health upgrade for him. Not a bad choice, but I kind of just wish I was able to pick and choose. But this is the first time getting reactor core, which is why I had us do it. Next, we're going to go over to the artillery mech, the one I've been calling the cannon, and putting raining death on him. Let's see if that'll help out in future missions. Let's go. Alright, now we're on this interesting map that has tidal waves, which means the map is going to be flooded every turn. So let's see what the bugs do. First, we're going to move the cannon. We're going to place him right there and do an artillery blast. Boom, pushing him out of being able to damage the building and into the way of the other bug. Next, I'm going to use the mech to punch the lights out of this thing, dropping their additional health that they get. And then tank, bam, into each other, taking out that one bug. However, it is going to cause them to breach. And another bug is going to come through, and our tank gets hit. So, I didn't think that last attack would. Alright, first move's going to take the cannon. We're going to move the cannon right there, and we're going to do a little push, getting these two. Well, one out of the way, one into another. Next, we go ahead and we're going to move our mech right over here and punch that bug. Boom. Perfect. That just leaves the tank, so I'm just going to leave him where he's at. Do that to push the bug, preventing a breach from coming through. Let's see what happens. So we're going to take the mech, I'm going to move him right there, and we're going to punch this bug into the water. We're going to use the tank and destroy this bug right here, leaving him in the way of the tidal wave, but I don't think he'll sink. I don't think I'm going to lose him. May get damaged though. Alright, now we're going to move the artillery mech, our cannon. I'm going to move him up, and then do a little blast right there. Boom, pushes him into the water, and we're good. Bugs are gone. I believe we win. We didn't lose any grid that time, so that's always great. And then we got the objective completed, so that gave us an extra grid. We've got 3 grid power going on, and what's this? Seismic activity. Oh no. Lost the 3 regions, but we do have something happening at the corporate headquarters. And it looks like this may be a boss battle. And I was right. Alright, we place our mechs, and that purple bug right there is the boss that we gotta fight. It's got 2 attacks. That is scary. Gonna move the cannon over here and do an attack right there on the little passive guy. Now we're gonna go over here and move the mech right next to the passive and just get him out of there. Level up. And here's where I really mess up. I've moved my tank back here. I attack the boss to push him out of the way from hurting the building, thinking, oh, he's only gonna do 1 damage. No, he deals 4 damage. It took out my cannon. So now I'm left with 2 mechs to finish a boss fight. Great. So the first move we make is that we take our tank, we move him over there, and we hit the boss. Hoping to push him away from the building so he doesn't break it. And he actually bounces off the corpse of my cannon and doesn't budge. But he doesn't have that much health left. So I'm going to take the mech, punch him. There we go. Boss taken out. Thought that would be the end of the round, but nope. We still have plenty more bugs to take on in another 3 turns. First up is moving the tank. So I'm going to move it down over here. I'm going to attack to push this bug out of the way to protect that building. Our mech, on the other hand, not going anywhere. So we're just going to punch one. I can kill this one. And there we have it. That's my turn. I don't have a lot of options here. I can't get my mech in a correct position to be able to free, or my tank in the right position to free the mech. So I can only move here and just shoot this guy back. And the mech has to punch this guy. And I got no other choice. I feel like I'm gonna lose this now. What was that? I have a 15% chance that the building will resist an attack. And it actually paid off this time. And in a good moment, because I only have 2. We just lost the VIP tower, which was an objective, and that also made us lose a grid. We could have lost just now. Crazy. That's it. That's how we win. We win by a 15% chance of luck. Could have been much better strategist. But I'm sure next time we'll do a lot better. Because there we go. That's it. We beat the first island. There's still 3 more islands to go, and then it's got a whole roguelike system to where if you die, you can bring one of your pilots back and start all over again. We got our main pilot. That guy right there is all the way to full. And then we can do a whole bunch of other mechanics before going to the next island, but we're not going to see that today because this is the end of the video. Thank you all for watching. I hope you're enjoying AI June as much as I am. And I will see you in the next video of AI June. Goodbye.